Well, hello, folks. Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. And last couple of episodes, I've been doing some straightening, some rearranging, some thematic, redoing, if you will. And I'm going to tackle this beast today. So this is a pretty much a standard Lowe's white shelf, okay? And one of the things I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I just want to take everything off and straighten it up a little bit. Now, you'll see here I have a little stereo, okay? This is really just something so that I can play some music. I'm actually thinking of moving this to another location. I'm not sure where yet. I'm kind of thinking about it. But whilst we go through this right now, I'm thinking about doing a little bit of a removing of this. Now, I like having it. It has a 60s. This is going back about 30 years, but it was my first stereo, you know. And the speaker, you can actually put it all together almost like a boombox. You know, JVC. It functions beautifully. You know, it's got a 6 CD changer and a single one. So basically, of course, I put some Star Wars music in here. I mean, these days, everything can be done, off of playlists off of your phone. So I feel like this maybe is something that can be, moved somewhere else now. My idea was that when we would first, this used to be the whole room, this area was my whole Star Wars room. And I have since kind of expanded into other spaces here. But what I would do is I would, people entertain guests. People would come down here and I, turn the music on. But to be perfectly honest, and here's my brand new boiler. I haven't really done that. Okay, so there's that because of that, I feel like, all right, maybe it's time to remove that or move it someplace else. Come up with another plan. We'll see. Okay, but in addition to that, that leaves the, if I get rid of that, you can see there's not much else on the shelf, right? On the top here, we have the Naboo Royal Starship, and that's basically a position of necessity because that's about the only spot I have to fit it, okay? You have a few random things, some Lego, some other things, okay? And then as we pan down here, you'll see that this is kind of like a hodgepodge. It's got a lot of unique stuff, some the Star Wars clock from the 70s. I got some bootleg figures right here. Just some weird stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else, and I don't really want to part with all of it. I might part with some of it, but I love the Viewmaster. I love this is the set. I mentioned this in a previous channel or previous episode, right? I think this is actually this is the box for a Magic Band from Disney and some Empire Strikes Back jewelry. So I've talked about this already, but anyway, I want to kind of set up a. Maybe tweak it a little bit, maybe remove a few items from here. I'm not exactly sure yet. Exactly, it's going to be kind of a move along as we go. But then, panning down, you see we have a wasted space here, right? There's a lot of space at the upper half of this shelf that isn't getting used. So I want to try to do something about that. We got my Jedi Council here. I was thinking somewhere, I have to look around, but I also have the other thing that came out, which was the Separatist thing. I was thinking about unboxing those and then kind of putting them on display, maybe right next to the Jedi Council, Then, of course, we just have a space at the bottom. And again, I showed this earlier, but look at what happened to this bottom shelf. So I don't know if that could be repaired. I mean, it's just plastic, and I had to put some wooden things on the bottom just to kind of help level it. Well, then this happened. So it is still leveled. It won't tip over. But I'm feeling like, no, maybe I should do something with that. So I think what I'm going to do really is just kind of take this whole thing apart. And I'll set a table up. Now, I would like to maybe start expanding on some of the shelves here. So to do that, I picked up another shelf from Lowe's. Now, unfortunately, they did not come in white. This is just gray. Walmart had a similar one that was black. So, although now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing that it's not the exact same brand. So I don't know, honestly, if these are going to work. If they don't, that's not a problem. Because what I can do is I can consolidate this shelf with another one I have, and then set up this in its entirety and pick up another one, and then just kind of do it that way. So that might be what I do. But we'll see how this works. All right, so I'll set this up on kind of a high speed, and we'll see what we can do. I'm just kind of, first thing I got to do is kind of strip the whole thing. As far as this shelf is concerned right now, I'm kind of just leaving it alone. I wanted to put this shelf, I wanted to put this helmet inside here, but it doesn't look like they fit. I tried it, it's a little bit wide left to right. So I might see about finding another location for it, we'll see. All right, so let's get to work. So I figured out, or at least I remembered, why this was bowed so much. It was like this, right? Wheels. I thought I would be smart and attach wheels so I could roll it. That did not work. These wheels, the whole thing just kind of warped around it. So I'm going to remove these and see if I can straighten this out simply by making it a straight, setting it up with another one. I do have to do a little more clean on this one because this has been on the ground. This has seen better days. We've had a few floods. It hasn't been fully cleaned out, so I'll do a little bit of cleaning. Okay, so it looks like my initial plan has worked, and I can actually utilize both the gray shelf and the white shelf. Now, in the future, I might decide to paint the whole thing a different color if I really want to, but frankly, gray and white kind of works, okay? So now, the thing is, I'm gonna use the bottom two. I'll put two more together, and another shelf I'll add on to this, but I'm gonna leave them like the normal size. It's only as we get higher that I'm gonna start thinning out the shelves. Let's see how that goes. All right, so now that we're halfway up, I want to use half of the pipe here. So what I'm going to do is measure it, and then I'm going to use this tool. This is a PVC pipe cutter. So it's made of a very similar material, so it should work, although PVC pipe is a little bit stronger, so if it might bend the whole pipe, I'll have to see how that goes. I'm willing to experiment with one. Okay, so it turned out that this was the actual tool to use. It just took a little bit of finagling. I tried a hacksaw, but this thing's a waste because this blade is so old. I was using it to cut foam from another project, and this also didn't work too well. It did with work. These would have worked, but I think your best bet is this. You have to get a large one. And then once you start, once you start cutting, you have to kind of adjust it, move it around a little bit, do that, and then it will work. So, okay, let's see how this looks. All right, so with each project comes a learning experience, and here's what I've learned. First of all, I don't mind the color, okay, but I do have to say that these are not exact, not a big deal. In fact, in a way, they look kind of cool, but this shelf is about a quarter or maybe even an eighth of an inch shorter or in width than this shelf. So that means that if you can look closely, you can see that all of the bars are either slightly leaning inward, slightly leaning outward. So that's okay. I'm not really that upset about that. In fact, I'm really not that upset about that at all, because I think everything else about this worked out very well. And I am excited to maybe start putting stuff in. Now I will say this top shelf really can't fit the Naboo Royal Fighter. I'm gonna try to get this on the next shelf, or even on this one. I kind of want the Naboo Fighter to be somewhere where I can see it better. I might even put it on this shelf. We'll see. We'll play around with it and see what we can. Let's see what we can do. Now, here's my table full of stuff here. You might notice once we get this stuff up that there's a lot of things that have kind of gone away. I've put somewhere else. Why is that? Well, mainly because I feel as though this is, these cleanups are also a way for me to clean out. They're a way for me to downsize. I've said it many times on the channel, I'm really mostly interested in just the action figures, some play sets and vehicles, mostly from the vintage line. A few odds and ends are fine, but like I'm not going to part with my C-3PO light switch cover, things like that, or my Episode 1 3D glasses, so that kind of thing. But we'll play around with it. So let's get to work. Okay, so this is the finished product. Finished for now. I love it. It's much cleaner. I do think I want to put some in and try to install some strip lighting. Okay, in some of the areas like here. Not every single shelf, but what's nice is my power strip is right behind my Stormtrooper helmet. Yeah, I ended up doing a little more than just fixing this up. I actually ended up fixing up the shelves here. You can see here I put my Admiral Akbar mask, my Don Post Admiral Akbar mask. It's the only one that is I think it's my favorite, and the only one that really survived. Most of the masks just started to degrade. It's still great. It's degrading as well, but not as fast as the other ones. We have the Luke helmet, Mandalorian. We do have a turret from a battle pack set. The rest of it is up on the side here, up this way, which I'll show you. And then I got my Stormtrooper helmet. You can see here we got the droid factory. I don't know if you noticed, but in the high speed, there's a window back here, and I actually had both Droid Factory and Order 66 2-packs. I kept the Droid Factory because I love droids, and I might even unbox them, because these boxes have all been damaged because of the sun. And then get rid of sell off the pieces. I think there's like a piece of a droid, you know what I mean? So collect the droid and then put the astromechs with my others. Moving our way down, we have a couple of bootlegs. We got our Galaxy Empire one, and then we have our other 3-pack of Jedi ones here. This is a kind of a Hoth playset. Wasn't really too thrilled with the new playsets. They don't have the same connection to me as the old ones. And these are all kind of from a pack, which that turret was from. Here we have a couple of old Jedi pendant jewelry, and I found my Separatist kind of 2-pack. I'm not sure how to display them though. They're kind of circular, so I might take them off there. They're the cardboard. I took these apart because they got flood damaged, so I might take them off the floor here. Maybe figure out another base to put them on. Got some unboxed battle pack or 3-packs from way back in Power of the Force days. There's some Jabba crew, some pilots, and the Minot hunt, and a couple of Rebels and Clone Wars vehicles, a holographic Yoda. And then I'm really proud of this because it's kind of at eye level. So this is the new Jedi Council, and as you can see, I actually expanded it outward, so that you can see all the characters. I really love this set. I really miss some of the things that Hasbro was doing in the 90s and 2000s. I know things cost more money now, and in a way I'm actually glad, because as you know, I'm parting with the collection little by little. A lot of things that were on these shelves are no longer here. They're in a box. I'll even show you that before I head out. This is I've reduced my little whatnot stuff. Although, you know, Darth Maul, you don't really belong in there. I'm gonna put Darth Maul up here because that's an actual action figure Sith speeder that didn't exist, but it's kind of like a mini rig. And then you can see we have some items from just all knickknacks, different things, as I showed in previous videos. Some vintage, some newer. I have more room for stuff here. This is actually it's like a lunch caddy. It's got like a bowl and forks and knives and everything, but I couldn't figure out how to open it. So I just kind of took it, left it like that. I'm a big R2 fan. I might move it to the R2 collection over there. We got a few. We got a Jabba, we got a battle droid and a little mini rig. We got Enfys Nest, and we got, of course, Tell that the Conjure Club. Well, that's not Conjure Club. It's just the Rathtar with one of the characters. And here is where I put, not eye level, but I got my Naboo fighter, which it's really not a vehicle. It's really more of a playset. So I really do want to try to, you know, get it kind of up and looking at, making sure the batteries aren't degrading. We got the Vulture Droid 3 pack. This Vulture Droid actually, it is a device that activates this. So now back there, you see that Empire Strikes Back Super Scene Collection. It was a Coca-Cola promotion back in the 80s. Sadly, it got seriously damaged in flood, but I did not have the heart to throw it out, so I just kind of stick it in the back there. We have one of the insect creatures from the Clone Wars. And then if at the bottom level, I just put a few loose plasticky figures in the vehicles from the Clone Wars era. They're not vintage. I don't mind if they get a little water, you know. But that is a nice, more updated collection. I do realize that lighting would be better. And in some cases, if I had a glass casing, that would be better. But I'm on a budget, so I do what I can. And it really wasn't that hard to do. I'm pretty pleased with it. And let me show you where some of the rejects ended up. Before I do that, I do want to point out, this is where I moved my stereo right next to all of my little miniatures. And it's got one speaker on top, and then past my Pez dispensers, there's my other speaker. So it's still here. It's still gonna provide wonderful music while I'm down here tinkering. But here's where things started to, this is my light. I'm not getting rid of my small Pez dispensers, but I am getting rid of the large ones. They're nice, they're fun, but I don't really need them. I should check to make sure the batteries are out of them though. So they're the Order 66. I mean, you can see it, the target is faded, so they're definitely openers, but somebody will want them. Just a few other little items. It's a Batmobile, some Galactic Heroes holiday set. It's cute, but I don't really need them, so. All right, so that will do it for this episode, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out all the other videos on Instagram and X and Red 5 Network. Thank you, Red 5, for supporting the channel as always. See you in the next video. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.